Hey guys, what's happening? Thanks for watching, tuning in, coming back, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Hope you're having an awesome day or wherever you may be. In this video today, I'm going to talk about Topaz Studio, and it's a great product. Sadly, I've only ever done 2 videos on it, and I'll put the links up there. But someone reminded me recently that it's a great product, and maybe, hey Jim, you could do more videos about it. And you know what? That person's right. It is a great product, and I would like to do more videos about it. It's been out for a while. I've had Topaz Studio for, I don't know, 6 or 8 months, and I've played with it some, but you know, I generally do a lot of Luminar videos and some Aurora stuff, a little Lightroom stuff here and there, but part of my goal for 2019 is to expand my sort of creative reach and stretch myself creatively. And so to me, that also involves not just shoot differently or different subjects, but also edit differently and expand my skill set. And it's just something I've challenged myself with. I want to continue doing that. And so I've been playing with Topaz Studio a little bit more. And admittedly, I'm not as advanced at using Topaz Studio as I am at Luminar, for example, simply because of the amount of time I've spent in it or haven't spent in it in this case. Luminar, I've got, you know, probably thousands of hours in, and I don't have that in Topaz Studio. But I'm working on it, and I'm here to hopefully help and help you guys in case you're getting started with it as well. Now, a couple things to be aware about with Topaz Studio. The first one is it is a free product, and I'm going to use free in air quotes, and that's because within the free product you get like, and I don't know the exact number, don't hold me to it, but I think it's 10 what they call free adjustments. An adjustment to them is what you would maybe call a filter, right? So the free version, which you can download at the link below, I'll put there, you get 10 filters. They also have what they call pro adjustments, and there's 24 or so, I'm not sure, of those. And you have to buy each of those, or you can buy the combined pack. Now, if you already own some of the other apps, they work out what you already own versus what you buy, and they sort out the math and all that. So I have no idea how to help you with that in case you're curious. But the support folks there are really good. They've helped me plenty of times. And anyway, part of my expansion of my creative reach this year is using other products and making sure that I'm as well-rounded, you know, at the computer as I hope to be with the camera and in the field. So to that end, let's jump into a photo. This is the original photo I shot one morning in Prague. This is just a single exposure. You can see, you know, you can see all the ripples in the river there. And that sort of thing. I always liked the photo, but I was never getting anywhere with it. I played around with it a couple of times in Luminar, and I kind of did stuff I normally do, and I was kind of like, yeah, I don't really like it. And so I've never really shared it. And then I got into Topaz Studio, and I started playing with it, and I turned it into that. And it's, I like it. I like it a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the different filters that I used, and let's go ahead and cover that right now. Okay, so here we are at the filter panel, which I got to, you just expand this arrow here. Now, in that other video, you can see there's also basically presets you can get to over there, and down here, whoops, there's like crop tool and masking and things like that. I'm not gonna get into all that in this video. So I used a combination of free adjustments and pro adjustments. And there's also a histogram up here, by the way, which I've hidden, so just FYI. If you click on adjustments, everything comes up. So these are the free ones here at the top, and then down below the line, they're in alphabetical order in each category. Below the line are all the pro adjustments. All you do is you click on adjustments and add one, and it'll keep adding, right? So the first thing I did is I got the basic adjustment. Let me expand that filter so you can look at it. And all I did here, as you can see, I bumped up the clarity and the shadows a little bit, and then I came down here, bumped up the saturation and the warmth a tad, and that was really it. It was very basic. So let me turn that off and on. Very subtle adjustment, really nothing to it, right? So that was the first thing. The next thing I did is use the precision contrast filter, which if you look up here, you can see the precision contrast is a pro adjustment. So again, I used some of both. I just wanted to clarify. So precision contrast, that brightened the photo a fair amount. I bumped up low, medium, and high contrast, and then I did a little bit with the lighting in the midtones, added a little saturation and vibrance here, just to bump up the colors and that sort of thing. And so that brought me to, you know, a little bit better place, right? So I was there, a bit darker of an image, and now a much lighter image. But one of the things I didn't like is the water, and that's one of the reasons I haven't done anything with this photo. Is there's 2 things I don't like about the water. The first, most obvious one is the color. It's kind of brown, and by kind of, I mean really brown, And, you know, brown water is just not attractive. Maybe it's really like that. I don't really remember it being that way. Obviously, when you shoot like at sunset, the light reflects, and at blue hour, the light reflects, so water looks better. But this was sunrise, and although the sky is nice and the clouds were nice, and by the way, it was a gorgeous sunrise, but this is kind of past that time. And I guess with the brightening of the day, sort of that effect on the reflection of the water dissipates. Anyway, so I wanted to fix that, A, color, and B, kind of the look of the water. It's ripply. It's a single exposure, so it was real quick, as, you know, it was a fraction of a second. I don't know what the EXIF data is, and I don't really care. You can tell it was a super quick photo. So the first thing I did is get a pro filter called Smudge. So you go to Adjustment, you go down here and you get Smudge. And Smudge is pretty much the coolest thing of all time. It allows you to basically create motion. So what I did, let me just turn that on. If you look at the water, let me turn it off again. Look just at the water of the river, right? So now that you're looking at that, that's off. That's how it was shot. And now I'm turning on the Smudge, and you can see it's created a nice motion in the water. So that's a beautiful trick. And then what I did, let me expand the filter. I went in, and you can just click right there to get into the mask. And I just grabbed a gradient mask and I dragged it just in the bottom because it's basically nearly straight line. And I just dragged that across the bottom. Black conceals, white reveals on masks, right? That's an old Photoshop expression, I believe. So black conceals, in other words, the smudge filter is concealed from the stuff that's black, which is basically the bottom of the bridge all the way through the sky. And white reveals, right? It reveals that filter. So smudge filter is revealed in the white area, which is basically just the river. So that's one of the great things, I think, about Topaz Studio is you can individually mask these filters. So it's filter masking. If you're a Luminar person like I am, you have filter masking effectively. So that smudge, again, one more time, the river water. Look at it's busy, it's choppy, it's kind of ugly to be honest. And now it's got this smooth, it looks like a long exposure, or at least a 2-second or 3-second exposure, whereas it was a fraction of a second. So that helped me overcome something I didn't do in the field because I wasn't doing that. And then that was the first thing. The second thing was a color. So I went into dual tone. Dual tone is effectively what I call split toning. Same as in Lightroom or Luminar or On1 or pick your editing product of choice. Dual tone is the same as split toning. And what I did there is I just took the shadow color and dragged it to the blue and bumped it up a bit. And then once again, I did a mask, right? Same thing, gradient mask across the water, which means it did not apply to anything on the bridge or above. So again, black conceals, white reveals. So that's the mask, and all dual tone did is take the water from brown, there it is, to blue, there it is. It's that easy, it's super fun, and I think now that was what I needed to make this photo better because the way the original looked, let me show you. You could tell that the sky was kind of pretty, and of course the architecture of the bridge and St. Vitus and all that's pretty awesome. But the river just sucked, honestly. I mean, I tried to crop it out, and then, you know, you're just getting this really long, like, fake pano looking thing. Anyway, I kept it in its original 3:2 dimensions, and it looks a lot better. Next up was sharpening. So what I did here, I'm just going to zoom in because this sharpening came a long way. So let me turn it off. Just look at basically the bridge and the buildings, right? That's unsharpened, and now with the sharpening filter applied, that is sharpened. I mean, this is crisp. I love it. I'm going to hit fit again to go back. So, and again, I masked it in. So as you can see, white reveals and black conceals. And so I removed it basically from the sky and the water, and I sharpened just the bridge and the buildings because who wants sharp water and who wants a sharp sky? Not me, not you, not really anybody anywhere ever in the history of photography probably. So that was why I did that. And then the last thing was I was just kind of missing a little bit of pop to the light. It was still a little bit lacking in like oomph. And so all I did is I get the brightness and contrast filter, which if you go up here, that is a free adjustment. By the way, the previous one, Sharpen, is a pro adjustment. Oh, and dual tone, I didn't talk about that. Dual tone is free. So split toning basically is a free adjustment. So if you get the free copy of Topaz Studio on that link below, you're all set. Brightness and contrast, I just went like that. And you know, I've said this before in many videos, when you adjust contrast, it impacts the look of the colors. So it actually gave it a little bit more of a saturated look, and I gave it a little bit of a saturation bump too. But I also bumped up the brightness there. So I just took it from that to that, and that's the final photo. So let me show you the original. There it is before, and there it is after. For me, the big thing was the dual tone being applied with a gradient mask into the water, and then the same gradient mask being applied into the water with the smudge filter, which creates that flowing, they've got a term for it, but basically it makes a very fluid sort of look. I believe that filter is actually initially came from their what was called Topaz Glow, I think. But anyway, that's the photo before and after. So one more time, there's before and there's after. I now have a photo I'm really happy with. It looks like a multi-second exposure, super crisp and sharp in the middle where it needs to be, flowing water that's a beautiful blue to match the sky. And another reason I didn't like the photo before is the brown river didn't match the blue sky, and I can't deal in that situation. So that's what I did, my friends. That's Topaz Studio. I'll come back with more videos. Feel free to ask me questions. I'm still learning, and I'm going to keep at it. But I'm going to do more videos on Studio because it's fun. It's cool. And with 10 filters, it's free. The pro adjustments you got to pay for. You can use my link if you're interested. And there's also a coupon code, JimNix, and that'll save you 15% on the pro adjustments. So I'll put that down below as well. And again, those are affiliate links, so I make a couple bucks or whatever it is if you do that. And if you do, thank you very much. It helps very much. Helps keep the lights on around here. And lights are good because then I can have power to my computer and I can make more videos. And we both win. So, okay, I'm going to shut up. You have a great day, and I'm going to stop pointing at you. And I'll see you next time, my friends. Have a great one. Take care. Thank you again, and adios.